to Steve Harvey.
Right.
I got Steve Harvey number in my phone. Well,
Right.
why didn't you ask Ricky this? I said, Katt, normally when people are giving you information that you've never heard or no one else has ever spoken, you feel that he was in that situation. He's giving you pertinent information. I have no reason to believe
Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business.
Shannon Sharpe has been making headlines in 2024, shaking up not only the sports world, but the celebrity scene as well. Ever since his eye-catching interview with Katt Williams went viral, he's become a major topic of conversation in podcasts and interviews. His show has hosted numerous big-name celebrities sharing fascinating stories, but the Williams interview has had its share of highs and lows. Recently, Shannon opened up about the challenges he's faced since that explosive interview. During a chat with Cam Newton, he highlighted how things have shifted both positively and negatively, revealing that Katt Williams had warned him about the potential fallout. According to Williams, exposing some industry secrets would lead to pushback, and Shannon is now feeling that impact firsthand. He's noticed that some guests are backing out of scheduled interviews at the last moment, a direct result of the controversy stirred up by his interview. Shannon reflected on the unexpected consequences of his viral moment, saying, "I didn't realize it would cause such a ripple. I didn't think it would move me in this direction, but I'm glad it did. I understand the consequences, but I didn't expect it to affect things like this." Katt said it would put me in another dimension and that people would come for me, and now that's exactly what's happening. Despite the challenges, Shannon remains determined to push forward. So did Steve Harvey really try to cancel Shannon's podcast? Well, you better stick around because what's coming is seriously mind-blowing.
So he and I have a different type of relationship than the other guys. But do I talk to Steve Harvey? Absolutely. Have he invited me to his farm in Atlanta? Yeah.
The kings of comedy. You said Bernie Mac, DL. How did they put that? How did they put that together, Steve? How did you guys come together and says, okay, DL said Steve, Bernie?
So first things first, how did everything start between Steve Harvey and Shannon Sharpe? Surprisingly, the two actually sat down for an interview on Club Shay before the Katt Williams interview. This was Shannon Sharpe's most watched interview, racking up around 8 million views. The interview covered a lot of ground, but we'll focus on Steve Harvey's stories about being homeless and his reflections on the kings of comedy. During the interview, Harvey openly shared his past struggles, including living out of his car for 3 years while chasing a career in comedy. He talked about how these tough times fueled his determination to succeed, serving as an inspiration to many viewers and highlighting the importance of resilience and perseverance. Harvey also reflected on the Kings of Comedy tour, sharing behind-the-scenes stories and discussing the chemistry among the comedians. He explained how the tour helped boost their careers and made a lasting impact on comedy. This part of the interview gave a fascinating glimpse into the world of comedy and the strong bond between the Kings of Comedy. However, things took a turn after the Katt Williams interview. Katt, never one to hold back, had some sharp words about Steve Harvey. He questioned the truth behind Harvey's tales of homelessness and his role in the Kings of Comedy, which sparked a firestorm. Katt's Xavier rewriting his past and stealing stories, which only added fuel to the fire and heightened the tension between Shannon and Steve. The drama didn't stop there. Rumors swirled that Steve and other celebrities might be trying to boycott Club Shay, making things even more intense. This beef wasn't just about a single interview. It revived old conflicts and stirred up new controversies. This isn't the first time Steve Harvey has faced such accusations. Even comedian Katt Williams revealed that Steve supposedly had a hand in sidelining his own brother during the Kings of Comedy tour. Let's rewind to the early 2000s when Harvey teamed up with D.L. Hughley, Cedric the Entertainer, and Bernie Mac to create the legendary Kings of Comedy. They were a comedy powerhouse, breaking records and raking in cash. However, whispers of jealousy surfaced, hinting that Harvey might have been envious of Bernie Mac's distinct style. Their backstage tension wasn't just idle chatter, it even led to the Kings of Comedy tour coming to a halt. By 2003, Bernie Mac dropped some serious revelations during an interview with GQ magazine, accusing Harvey of being envious and sabotaging his movie roles. Steve Harvey, hurt by these accusations, responded in a 2010 interview, but many fans weren't completely convinced by his side of the story. And just recently, activist S.E. Berry has made some serious accusations against Steve Harvey, which might tarnish his previously spotless image. While Steve Harvey has indeed made a name for himself in Hollywood as actor, producer, and writer, his rise to fame wasn't without its bumps. His journey has been marked by various controversies, from being criticized as a less than stellar host to allegations of mistreatment towards his former wife and children.
Doing Steve, man. Ain't nothing with me. Well, Steve stole my material on his show, so I had a beef on that.
Look, let's just get the deposit. Get on out. If it don't work, let's get the deposit.
This raises a question: if Steve Harvey is truly the epitome of family values, why has he been married multiple times? Take his second marriage to Mary Shackelford, for instance. Their relationship was anything but smooth. They had a son named Wynn, but by 2005 their marriage had a rough patch and ended in a messy divorce. Mary claimed that Steve moved on too quickly to his current wife, Marjorie Harvey. After their split, Mary alleged that Steve had an affair with Marjorie, and although Steve denied these claims, the timeline of his quicker marriage to Marjorie raised questions and gave way to the cheating rumors. The drama didn't end there. Mary accused Steve of not only cheating, but also mistreating their son. She alleged that after their separation, she found bruises on Wynton's face, which led her to file a $60 million lawsuit against Steve, including serious charges like child endangerment, mistreatment, conspiracy, and emotional distress. While Steve managed to get a court order against Mary, the court also imposed a gag order on her, leading to speculation about why such secrecy was needed. Steve Harvey's trouble extend beyond his personal life into the comedy world. Comedian Mark Curry has accused Steve of stealing his material for his own shows, causing a stir in the comedy community. This isn't a new feud. Mark had previously criticized Steve for allegedly using his jokes during Harvey's NBC talk show.
They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her, then you went and married somebody else that think like a man.
Dog, I'm out here working. It's hard to follow. Now I gotta follow DL, Said, and Bernie. Bernie by himself.
Mac, yeah.
Mac was he was, of all of us, man, that boy could put some pressure on you. So I said,
there's even persistent whispers that Steve Harvey might have a habit of borrowing jokes a bit too freely from his fellow comedians, and speculate that this tendency might have strained his relationship with Samuel L. Jackson, who might not be the biggest fan of Steve. Due to these alleged transgressions, the plot thick. When you hear Mark Curry's side of the story, Mark has openly accused Steve of swiping his jokes and using them on his own shows. According to Mark, he's already confronted Steve about this issue more than once, but the alleged joke theft didn't stop. The tension between them reached a new level when Mark described a particularly frustrating incident, a Halloween show where Steve supposedly performed Mark's entire Halloween routine as if it were his own. Mark's frustration is palpable. He expressed his disappointment over the situation, questioning why someone as successful as Steve Harvey, who's already made a considerable fortune, would feel the need to use material that wasn't his own. However, things only heated up significantly between Steve Harvey and Mark Curry. Steve didn't just deny the accusations, he challenged Mark to provide specific examples of the allegedly stolen jokes. He did mince words, telling Mark to get a life and a career of his own. Steve even went on a passionate rant, asserting that he hadn't stolen a joke in 35 years. But Mark wasn't just blowing smoke. He came armed with evidence to support his claims, raising the stakes in this comedic clash. The drama didn't end there. Other comedians like Katt Williams jumped into the fray, backing Mark's side. He's accused Steve of not only stealing jokes, but also cozying up to Hollywood elites and even pilfering show ideas. Katt has spilled the beans on their long-standing feud, suggesting that Steve was envious of Bernie Mac and even tried to sabotage his movie roles. According to Katt, Steve's success with his sitcom and Hollywood ventures was all about overshadowing Bernie Mac. He also took a swing at Steve's marital history, alleging that Steve has played fast and loose with the truth about which wife was instrumental in his success. Katt accused Steve of downplaying one wife's contribution while promoting another, adding fuel to the fire about Steve's credibility and stirring up drama about his personal life.
No parts of this in any way, shape, form, or fashion. This is some other I don't know why he came out here with all this money y'all spent on.
Now, if you've been wondering why Katt Williams seems to have a long-standing grudge against Steve Harvey, the roots of their conflict trace back to an explosive event in December 2008. Let's take a trip down memory lane to understand how their feud began and evolved into the ongoing drama it is today. In December 2008, Katt Williams made headlines by openly criticizing Steve Harvey right before a major Christmas season show. This was no small spat. It was a bold move that set off a chain reaction. At the time, both Katt and Steve were big names in comedy, and Katt's decision to call out Steve publicly was like throwing a lit match into a barrel of fireworks. This moment marked the beginning of what would become a decade-long conflict between the two comedians. The origins of this feud can be traced to a daring challenge that Katt Williams issued to Steve Harvey. Katt confidently claimed that he could outshine Steve and claim the title of the King of Comedy. This challenge wasn't just casual talk. It came right before a major New Year's Eve show where both comedians were headlining. It was like setting up a grand stage for a comedic showdown that would capture the audience's attention and stir up rivalry. As if the situation wasn't already heated enough, Jamie Foxx stepped into the fray. At the time, Jimmy was a popular radio host and played a clip of Katt Williams dissing Steve Harvey on air. This only added more fuel to the fire. Williams, anticipating their upcoming joint comedy gig, even preemptively apologized, hinting at a comedic showdown that was bound to be explosive. When the night of the event arrived, Katt Williams didn't hold back. He took to the stage and aimed sharp jabs at Steve Harvey's comedic reputation. Williams poked fun at Harvey's clothes and hair, delivering biting and humorous remarks that suggested Harvey wasn't up to the challenge of the comedy showdown. Fast forward to today, and Katt Williams is still far from finished with his critiques of Steve Harvey. In a recent interview on Shannon Show, Williams revealed some serious accusations against Harvey. He suggested that Harvey has a murky past and hinted that Harvey hasn't always been kind to his staff. Rumors have circulated that the staff of Harvey's talk show faced rough treatment, especially after the show relocated to Los Angeles. Supposedly, Harvey issued a controversial memo with demands typically reserved for tour writers, which only fueled the ongoing tension between the two comedians. This leaked memo allegedly contained a blunt directive from Harvey: "Don't approach me unless I ask you to." Harvey defended this strict policy by saying he needed more personal space, but this memo didn't set well with Katt Williams, who has a long-standing feud with Harvey. Williams has some genuine grievances. For instance, in 2015, Harvey was embroiled in a lawsuit after reportedly backing out of a lease for a private jet despite having spent over $400,000 on its renovations, which was supposedly requested by Harvey himself. The controversy doesn't stop at private jets. Williams has accused Harvey of stealing the concept of his show, The Steve Harvey Show, from Mark Curry's show Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Williams also took aim at Harvey's acting career, challenging Harvey's claim that he wasn't interested in film roles. According to Katt, Hollywood isn't looking for someone who talks funny and looks like Mr. Potato Head. Williams doesn't hold back when discussing other comedians, either on the Club Shay podcast. He labeled Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, and Ricky Smiley as a gang that has supposedly shared secrets and spread falsehoods about him. For years, Williams accused Cedric of stealing one of his best jokes from the late 90s, which Williams had performed on BET's Comic View. He claimed that this joke, which was his best and closing joke from 1998, was a key piece of his comedy.
Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write. Ricky Smiley is...
What happened? Why did it end?
After the movie, man, that was probably...
Blessing and a curse?
Yeah, the four of us. It was the largest comedy movie ever in the history. It was the largest comedy tour in the history.
Steve Harvey is far from being a passive participant in this saga. He firmly rebuffs Katt Williams' accusations, dismissing them as mere revisionist history. With a career that boasts over 40 movies and substantial contributions to the entertainment industry, Harvey argues that reducing his legacy to a single joke or incident is an oversimplification. His resilience and emphasis on his extensive achievements offer a strong counternarrative to Williams' claims. The podcast takes an intriguing turn as Williams dives into a controversial topic: black actors in Hollywood donning dresses. He points to Kevin Hart, Eddie Murphy, and Jamie Foxx as examples, highlighting what he perceives as a double standard in the industry. Williams also brings up the enigmatic concept of the Illuminati, suggesting that a secretive group might influence the entertainment world. He issues a cautionary note to fellow black artists, advising them to stay vigilant against potential manipulation from this mysterious club. Now, what's particularly fascinating in all this drama is that Katt Williams issued a warning to Shannon Sharpe before the interview aired. Williams suggested that after the interview, Steve Harvey might attempt to come after Sharpe and potentially sabotage sabotage his show. But here's where things get really intense. Rumors are circulating that Shannon Sharpe's safety might even be at risk due to the firestorm ignited by his recent interview with Katt Williams. Shannon Sharpe recently spoke out about the challenges he's faced since his viral interview with C. Williams. During a conversation with Cam Newton, Shannon shared why celebrities choose his podcast as a platform for candid conversations. He explained that before each interview, he always asks guests if there are any topics they prefer to avoid. His aim is to let them present themselves authentically from their own perspective. As Shannon puts it, I always ask, is there anything you don't want to talk about? Sometimes they say, I'd appreciate it if we don't discuss this, and that's fine. I believe you can still tell your story without crossing those boundaries. Shannon Sharpe clarified that he doesn't consider himself a journalist and has never claimed to be one. Initially, Shannon's producer was confident that Katt Williams' episode would be a success, but even they didn't anticipate the meteoric rise it would experience. With just about 8 million views on the episode featuring Steve Harvey, expectations were high, but the Katt Williams interview blew them out of the water. To Shannon's astonishment, the episode quickly amassed just under 72 million views on YouTube. This surge in viewership didn't just bring fame, it transformed Club Shay into the premier platform for candid, unfiltered stories. The massive success didn't just change the game for Shannon, it shifted the dynamics in the industry. Suddenly, potential sponsors were reaching out, and other high-profile guests were eager to appear on the podcast. Shannon's rise was rapid and substantial, turning Club Shay into a must-watch show. As Shannon noted, when Katt came on and did what he did, advertisers and sponsors had to take Club Shay seriously. People who doubted the show had to eat their words. However, the success brought its own set of challenges. While Shannon was enjoying the spotlight, he also began to notice increasing distance from certain industry figures. Some were unsettled by the revelations and controversies stirred up by Katt Williams' no-holds-barred interview style, and because of what Katt revealed, the animosity has shifted to Shannon Sharpe. Steve Harvey targeted Sharpe, accusing him of stoking controversy and stirring the pot in the comedy world. The accusations' intentions have not only impacted the podcast's reputation, but also challenged Sharpe's credibility and position in the industry. Steve Harvey also took issue with Williams' assertion that Harvey's success story, such as his rise from humble beginnings, was fabricated. Harvey refutes the notion that he borrowed or misrepresented anyone else's story, defending his personal narrative and career achievements. Amid the backlash, Harvey has used his platforms to address the criticisms indirectly. On his radio show, he has made metaphorical references to the ongoing feud, suggesting that he is not inclined to engage in petty disputes. Harvey's comments, though not explicitly naming Will or Sharpe, are widely interpreted as veiled responses to the allegations and critiques stemming from the interview. In essence, Steve Harvey's reaction to the Katt Williams interview has been marked by a strong defensive stance. His focus has been on preserving his reputation and emphasizing the breadth of his career, countering the criticisms with a blend of assertiveness and strategic ambiguity. As the situation unfolds, Harvey continues to navigate the fallout, asserting his legacy and responding to the contentious issues raised by Williams, but reports suggest that Steve Harvey might be secretly trying to cancel Shannon Sharpe's show. But what do you think about this? Do you believe Shannon will eventually come out on top, or do you think the pressure from Harvey and other industry figures might be too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And while we wait for more updates, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos for more content like this.